Hi, my name is Jane Powell. Welcome to Community Connections, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. This is a show showcasing community involvement, and today we have a guest from Pollen8 Solutions. Is that right?
It's Pollen8.
Pollen8. Cheryl Laws, you are the founder and chief executive officer of
Yes.
Pollen8.
I am.
All right, I'm so glad you're here, and I am so excited to learn more about Pollen8 and everything that you're doing, because you're doing a lot.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So let's start. Tell me about Pollen8.
Well, Pollen8 is a nonprofit organization that serves as an umbrella. So what we do is we create social programs that assist drug-impacted families, mostly throughout every stage of recovery.
Okay. Where do you do that? Where are you located?
Well, it's all community-based.
Okay.
So 80%, and it depends on the program, but mostly we're in South Charleston, but like one of the programs, Pollen8 Solutions, Pollen8 Family Services, we work 80% in the homes, and that's throughout Kanawha County.
Okay, so primarily in Kanawha County, is
Yes,
that right?
yes, at the moment, yeah.
Okay, so Pollen8 is the umbrella. So tell us a little bit about the other things that are underneath the umbrella.
Yeah, okay, so the first program that we started with was Pollen8 Family Services, and we work in conjunction with CPS.
CPS?
On Child Protective Services.
Okay.
On open abuse and neglect cases. So what we do is we work with parents who are at risk of losing custody of their children because they're substance abusers due to abuse and neglect. So I have a mobile treatment team, and that consists of a social service specialist, we have the youth program coordinator, and we have an addiction specialist. And so they kind of tag team that family, addressing all the issues, and so.
Wow. And do you have a certain age range of kids or children that you work with? The families, do the kids have to be a certain age?
Not on that program.
Okay,
That,
any age.
That's birth to 18.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an open one. So what happened from that? Then we were, we need something to do with the kids. And so a little background, I got my Master's of Arts in Appalachian Studies. And I wrote my business plan as my thesis. And so what I did was I chose an avenue, a vehicle to address social problems. And I chose substance abuse in West Virginia because that's, one of the number one things that we have going on here. And the vehicle I chose was inter-organizational collaborations, which are community partners.
Okay.
And so we had a camp this summer, Camp Appalachia, and that was my first inter-organizational collaboration. Pollen8 Family Services, it took me a year myself. I had some help, a mentor and people that worked with me, but that was a harder getting off the ground. And then the interorganizational collaboration, Camp Appalachia, it's Bridgeview and Richmond Elementary, Kanawha Communities That Care, Rock Lake Presbyterian Church, St. Paul's United Methodist Church, and the city of South Charleston.
All these people working together?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and the South Charleston Housing Authority.
Okay.
So we all pulled our resources together. The Housing Authority chipped in for the director. And then the churches gave the space. The city of South Charleston, I couldn't do what I do without them. They're I would say my strongest partnership for sure.
Wow. So when you talk about this camp, and we can talk more details about the camp in just a minute, but I'd like to hear some of the other things that Pollen8 is doing.
Sure. So then we do. So the camp is going to roll over into an academy, Appalachian Academy, which is an after-school care.
Okay.
And that is more, the camp was a jumping off point, getting the families to trust us, getting the kids to understand what we're doing, getting our sea legs back. And so anyway, we will go into the after-school care, and there they'll get more in-depth. There'll be play therapy for those who need more therapy with their behavioral issues. They'll get that. It'll be more of a family hub as well. The parents have to be involved in that, parenting classes, things of that nature. And then from that, we were like, we need to find something to do with parents and give people, most of the families that we service, I mean, let's face it, poverty is, in my opinion, the big issue behind any social problem. And so that is a big part. A lot of the parents, they don't have training. So we have the one I'm currently working on, a program called Cafe Appalachia, and that'll serve as a training hub for parents. So it's a partnership with KISRA in Dunbar, Canal Institutes for Social Reform and Action, the city of South Charleston, the churches, Rock Lake Presbyterian Church in St. Paul's, and Heart and Hand. So with that, then the parents will come, and it's going to be a coffee house in the morning because there's not one in South Charleston right now. And then they can get agricultural training from growing the food at Kisra, all the way to barista, to culinary, to food prep, business management. And at the end, we are going to work with the local community to get them job placement at the end of it.
So it's not only a place where I can go buy a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
It's a place where they're learning a skill that they can carry forward in their lives.
And the whole program is based on an organization called One World Everybody Eats. And so it has to be, it's a community spot where people come together and of all walks of life. So if someone can't afford to eat, we have what'll be called Cafe Appalachia Bucks. And so 1 hour of their time could be in the kitchen, it could be sorting food or sorting clothes at Heart and Hand, it could be on the farm. That equals a meal. And they can use it, they'll get a card and they can use it whenever they want.
Wow, I love
And then
that
everyone
idea.
else comes in, and if, it's a suggested donation price. So $7 to $9 would be a small portion, and it's buffet style of farm to table food. So it's a healthy food choice as well, delicious food.
That's an ambitious project. But you do like ambitious projects.
I absolutely do.
You
Absolutely.
are a lady with a plan.
Yeah, I am actually, and It's not just me. I mean, I always say this. I couldn't do this alone. I'm like the conduit. It comes through me because it needs to be done. And I've researched and wrote a 144-page book on how this will work. I researched case studies and scholarly literature. So it's founded in academia, which makes it, I think, even more bulletproof. Yeah.
Wow. So in all that research, you have created this umbrella of Pollen8, and you mentioned the camp earlier. So let's talk a little bit about the camp, because I'm guessing you're just, as we look at back to school, you're just coming off camp. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was a learning experience.
Camp Appalachia, is that right?
Yes, and it was at the Parish House on Canal Turnpike. St. Paul United Methodist Church donated that space.
Oh, that's nice.
And we brought in, they did a lot of activities. We had walking school buses because that's one of the things I'm looking for funding now currently. We need vans or buses. They changed
Transportation.
Yeah, they changed the requirements, and so it has to be MVP vans. And basically little school buses. So we walked everywhere. That was a hit we took. We didn't realize that until right before school or camp started. So we did walking school buses. So my staff met them at both. We serviced 2 housing developments, Parkland Terrace and Southmore. And so we met them there, and they walked to camp. We walked to Little Creek Park. They walked to the pool every Friday. They did a lot of walking. We went to the creeks every Thursday, and they hiked, some of them for the first time.
Wow.
We brought guests in that taught them dance and songs, and they learned all kinds of art projects. The city of South Charleston did a sports camp one whole week.
Nice.
So we just exposed them to as much as we possibly could, to let them see the free things, that they're not left out just because they don't have any money, that their city, that it's community oriented. So we tried to show them, what their city and their schools had to offer them.
Well, everyone loves free activities.
Exactly. And they got tutoring, 1 hour every day they did tutoring. And then every morning we started with Sun Circle and guided meditation to try to learn them, teach them that they can calm themselves.
Oh, that's
and that they have control over their actions.
And then what did they eat? Did you provide meals for them?
My mother worked in the kitchen, and these lovely ladies from the church every single day.
So they had really good food.
And we did the same thing. They had Taco Tuesday, and I made spaghetti, and I mean, that was one of the rave things. They were like, when we went around at the last day and talking about what was your favorite thing, almost every single one of them was like, the food.
Okay. So, and because I like to garden, this little fact stuck with me that when you do the after-school programs, and in your cafe, you will teach them about food and healthy eating and that sort of thing.
They actually, one of the things we did the second week of camp, we planted a community garden in both of their communities. So they have it now.
Yeah.
I drive by there occasionally and, try to see if they're harvesting it. But I've kind of just left it alone, because the whole thing about our whole program is teaching self-efficacy. That you are the creator of your own destiny, no matter what your situation is. You can change it.
Right. You have to be responsible for it.
Absolutely. But they will eat farm to table. The cafe will be that, as well as most of the food that they eat at the after-school care.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But you also have been working on a natural playground, is that right?
Absolutely. And your foundation actually funded that. Through the grant that we just received. So it's the after-school care is at the old Rock Lake pool and where the putt-putt is. And so up where the batting cage and the putt-putt nestled in a corner, it's overgrown right now, but they did a great job of planting plumy grasses. And I've hired Dave Hill for the 3 Trees Landscaping. And so he's going to help me map out using what nature is there, and then we'll make, this is an older group. We're trying to even hopefully maybe get a 4 to 6 foot rock climbing wall approved.
Wouldn't they love that?
Yeah, but that's, with all the regulations and stuff, we're fingers crossed on that. But I'm going to try. So.
Okay. And in talking with you earlier, I know that some of the people working with your program are very familiar with the areas that you're servicing because that's been home to them before. So I think that kind of has to resonate with the children and the families.
Well, my youth program director, Tuesday Taylor, she grew up in Parkland Terrace. And it kind of makes I cried the first time she told me the story when I met her to see if I wanted her to work. It was just like divinely orchestrated, And she's so passionate about it because she understands. She understands not only what the kids are going through, but what their parents are going through. She has this uncanny way of delivering bad news. She calls it a sandwich. I call her the sandwich maker because she starts with something positive and then she tells what the issue is and she wraps it back up with, that you can do it, with a positive note at the end. So I think she's my ace in the hole as far as the kids and the families go.
Well, I think you guys are making a great team is what I think.
Yeah, we work well together for sure.
Yeah. And I know if people are interested in learning more that you do have social media.
We do. Pollen8 we're on Facebook. We have a website, pollen8solutions.com.
And I'm sure you're always looking for volunteers.
Absolutely, especially with getting the garden ready. It's fundraising season for us. So we're trying to put together a fall festival that I could use help on. We're putting a 3-on-3 basketball tournament together to raise money for a basketball hoop for the kids because the boys are ball crazy. And we are planning a kickball tournament September 9th to raise money for the cafe.
Wow.
So I can always use volunteers for sure if they just want to contact me.
Yeah, so speaking of contacting you, let's talk about your email address, which is cheryl.laws, L-A-W-S, at pollen8solutions.com, and there it is on screen. And that's also your telephone number of 304-389-0803. So ways people can get in touch with you. Cheryl, it's been so great. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I've loved learning about Pollen8 and everything that's under that umbrella. And thank you guys for watching. This has been the Community Connections brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. Please watch us next time.